Hey guys, Matt with CJ Off-Road here. Today we've got in front of me a rough country rear steel bumper fitting your 2015 through 17 F-150. Now this steel bumper is going to match perfectly with that rough country front bumper we just installed in a previous video and really give us an aggressive look on the back end of your F-150. And what I like about this is that it's constructed out of a durable plate steel material. It's got grip treads up here for you to step in and out of, and it even comes with provisions as well as the lights to have reverse lights for auxiliary lights on the back there. It comes with all the factory plugs. You have your license plate light. You can get everything mounted right back up onto here, and it includes all the bracketry necessary to get it done. Now with this, you're gonna get a nice durable matte black powder coat on here, and this is really gonna look good on the back end of your truck, especially if you're trying to black it out. I really like all the features that come with this, and today we're gonna show you how to get it installed on your F-150. All right guys, now I know this is a little bit of a different starting point, but we had an aftermarket bumper on here and we got that all pulled off. We also had a lot of different wiring going on in the back of the truck since we already had cubes, and we won't need to run the entire harness. Now once you're at this point, once you got the entire bumper removed, honestly to do this, there's only 3 21mm nuts that hold on this entire piece. So if you take it off as one assembly, the hitch is still attached to your rear bumper, and you'll need to pull that off so we can reinstall it on the rough country bumper. Now at this point, you can see we've still got our trailer plug on there. We already took off our license plate lights, but we also have our parking sensors we need to pull off. But first, before we do any of that, we're gonna go ahead and pull our trailer hitch off, and then we'll show you how we can get everything reinstalled on the rough country bumper. And that'll give you guys an idea of what you have to pull off when you're taking off your stock bumper. We just couldn't show it because we already have an aftermarket one, and the process will be a lot different. So let's start here. We'll get the trailer hitch removed using a 21mm socket, and we'll move on. Whoa. Then you can remove your hitch and set it aside. Now if you have parking sensors in the rear too, you're just gonna pry open the tabs with your fingers and push the sensor through just like that. And we can pop that out as well. So that's good to go. We're just gonna remember where each one of these were. So we'll go from the passenger side over to the driver's side. So if you've got the factory parking sensors, you can see we've already got it disconnected. What you're gonna do is set that into place, attach the foam piece that's provided, and then this sort of half moon piece sits in like this. You push it down and twist it into place. There's actually holes in there, and that'll apply pressure to it and keep it nice and tight. You're gonna repeat that on all 4 of them, and they'll be nice and tight in there and good for you to go. After you got the proximity sensors installed, we're gonna install our flush mount cube lights. Now we put them through the front with our cord towards the bottom. This is the top of the bumper here. And we've installed the long bolts with the nuts on the back. Now we're gonna get these completely snugged up. Once we flip this onto its backside and we can see that they're perfectly even, we'll get that snugged up. But that's how you do that, using included bolts, and just get them tightened up. So we're gonna take our flag nut and place it through the backside and use these plastic retainers, and they just spin right on there, and we'll keep this in place when we are working on it. There are 2 sizes in there, so make sure you grab the right size. I got a little bit confused until I noticed these, because these actually do fit on. The other size is too big. So as you can see, now it'll hold it. We'll do the exact same on the other side. Now we've taken our factory trailer plug off by depressing both sides of this metal clamp, and there's a hole right here for it, so we're gonna get that installed as well, just by pushing it right in. Now with this bumper, it is a little thicker than the factory location, so if you have to, grab a flathead and just push this out very lightly and it'll snap into place. And this thing is really secure now. So just a little tip, it is a little thicker and you want it to clip on there so it doesn't pop out. All right guys, so we've laid the hitch into place, and this is the flag nut we just installed with those plastic isolators there to hold it on. Now we are gonna put the included hardware, which is gonna be a nice flat washer, as well as 2 lock nuts on there. We're just gonna get them started. Go over the other side and do the exact same thing, and then get these tightened down. And we're getting close to putting it back on the truck. So as you're going through all the pieces with this kit, you may notice these 2 brackets here, and it wasn't in the instructions. However, these are going to be utilized if you don't have a hitch receiver on your vehicle. So you're going to want to use these, and you'll just bolt this right up, and then the bumper will bolt to this attachment. But we do have a hitch on ours, which most trucks will, so we don't need to use these brackets. We're going to get these tightened up using a 15mm socket.
So
So now we're going to be running our wiring. The biggest thing you want to make sure you hook up are going to be your parking sensors, as well as you got your license plate light here. And then we already have Deutsch connectors running to these auxiliary reverse lights, but if you don't, you can run the harness that's included, and you can just run that all the way up to the front. I would suggest getting an MLC6. That's a rough country switch system, and we'll drop a link below so you can check that out and see some of the features of it. But for right now, just go ahead and reattach everything that you disconnected, and make sure you get it all done here at this point, so that way we can lift it up and put it right onto our frame horns here and be good to go. But right now, we're just gonna be making all of our connections, and then we'll flip it up and put it on the truck. So now at this point, we have all of our connections made. We actually use some of the provided zip ties to just get everything nice and tucked out of the way, and we are ready to put it on the rear frame horns. So Brendan and I are just gonna flip it up and get it on there. Now we're going to be using 2 people on this. Basically what we're doing is you do have adjustability on that back bracket to pick the bumper up, and you can see we've got a pretty decent gap here. So what we're going to do is pick that up as high as we can so it looks nicer here, and then he'll get it tightened down on the back side. We'll do the same on the other to get it nice and flush and looking good. So basically we tightened the lower one down over here so we could pivot this one up, and now we can get them all 4 tightened down now that it's all even and level and nice and tight here to the tailgate. It looks a lot better. There's not really that much of a gap, and it looks clean. All right guys, well, we just tightened everything down and this bumper is now complete. The last thing we need to do is of course bolt on your license plate. We'll do that after we get done with this close here. Now, another thing I really like about this bumper is that you do have the integrated flush mount spotlights on the back here. That's really gonna help backing up and loading up a trailer, or when you're off-road seeing what's behind you. We have ours wired to a prefab switch that we already have in the cab that was done long before we did this bumper. However, if you do need to, this comes with the harness, and like I mentioned before, we have a switch controller where you can easily get all this to work. But everything is integrated. You have the flush mount parking sensors, we've got our trailer hitch, and everything ready to go here. Plus, this is gonna be a lot more sturdy than the factory bumper if you have it. It also blacks it out nicely, and if you want to, you can actually remove these top panels in the center here and actually color match them to the truck or give them an accent color to match your vehicle. We've got some side steps here to help you get in and out of the bed, especially if it's lifted, and it's looking really good the way it is. If you want to check this rear bumper out, as well as many other great rough country parts for your truck or Jeep, be sure to visit cjponyparts.com.